Hello and welcome to Carved in Stone, where I pick a topic and give you my Mount Rushmore of that topic. So basically, my top four. But I will mention more than four selections. Lists, of course, are subjective, and narrowing it down to four is narrowing it down quite a bit. So I'll explain why some may fall just short of my mountain. I'm your host, Shawn Chabam, and on today's episode, I will be giving you my Mount Rushmore of Adam Sandler movies. This podcast is not affiliated with or endorsed by Adam Sandler, Happy Madison Productions, Universal Pictures, Touchstone Pictures, New Line Cinema, Columbia Pictures, or any other studios or distributors connected with the films discussed. All commentary reflects personal opinions for entertainment purposes only. Any images used are sourced from Wikimedia Commons under their respective licenses. Before I get into this, I have an announcement to make. You may or may not have noticed that this episode is airing exactly 1 week after the previous one. The podcast started bi-weekly, but I have decided I have enough content to do this every week. What I'm going to do, though, is record some evergreen content. What this means is I'll record some episodes where I don't ever see my mountain changing, and I'll intersperse those when I need them or just feel like putting something out there that I happen to have in my back pocket. So if you're ever watching this and say, why does he look younger than he did last week? Didn't he used to have more gray hair? It's not because I dyed my hair, alright, but because what you're watching may have actually been recorded much earlier than it was released. Another change, instead of posting edited clips to avoid spoilers to tease what will be coming on the next episode, I'll be posting clips after the episode airs if you just want short hits. If you want the full video, you'll still have it. If you just want quick snippets, you can get those too. If it becomes too much for me to release an episode weekly, I'll revert back to the bi-weekly format. I do not see that happening anytime soon because I can't stop thinking of ideas. So hopefully this remains weekly. We'll see what happens. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into today's mountain. I love Adam Sandler's movies, mainly his older stuff, as you'll see. For this mountain, I am keeping it to films where Sandler is the star. He's been in some good ones where he was more of a supporting character, like Airheads, but for today, these are movies he starred in. Up front, which probably isn't going to come as much of a surprise, all four movies today are comedy films. Sandler can occasionally play a more serious character. I thought he was really good in Rain on Me, although I thought Spanglish was a complete disaster. First up, Billy Madison. An absurd concept, of course, but that's what makes it so funny. Billy's father is about to retire and decides not to pass the lucrative hotel chain he owns down to Billy, who is a complete waste, and goes around chasing invisible penguins in a drunken rage. Billy learns his dad paid off his teachers all throughout his school career, and he goes back to school to prove he didn't need to cheat to get through it. He goes into public school and is supposed to pass each grade in 2 weeks. He makes friends, he makes enemies, he falls in love with his third grade teacher, Miss Vaughn. We have some great side characters who are no longer with us in this movie, like Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald. I swear, I could just sit around all night with like-minded people and just throw out lines from this movie. It's too damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around here. O'Doyle rules. Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really, fool? Really? Stop looking at me, Swan. It's Nudie Magazine Day! So many more I'm not saying right now. A series of events leads to Billy and Eric, who is the likely heir to Madison Hotels due to Billy's ineptitude, meeting in an academic decathlon, where they compete in a series of events that apparently tests their knowledge about things you learn in high school. Almost nothing included in this academic decathlon were things I recall learning in high school, which makes it even funnier, if you ask me. Billy gives a recap of a story he read in first grade, and the decathlon moderator says it was one of the most insanely idiotic things he'd ever heard. Billy does eventually win the competition, only to hand the company off to a more trustworthy employee, Carl, anyway. I just can't stop laughing from start to finish with this film. And look, I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's elementary humor. It doesn't make a ton of sense. It makes me happy. If you're looking for something that's going to be nominated for an Oscar, look far, far away. If you want to laugh and not even know why you're laughing because you know what you're watching is ridiculous, go watch Billy Madison. Next up, as I said, I like Adam Sandler's earlier films, and here's another one, Happy Gilmore, one of his sports movies. Sandler's title character is a wannabe hockey player who has grit, power, and a wicked slapshot, but almost no skill and can barely ice skate. He has a terrible temper, as we see over and over again. He fights Bob Barker and loses badly later in the film, but before he becomes famous, his grandmother's house is repossessed, and movers are disrespecting his grandfather's memory, playing with his golf clubs. They challenge Happy to hit a ball farther than one of the movers did, and Happy finds out he's pretty amazing at driving a golf ball. He starts hustling at a driving range where he's recognized by Chubbs, the golf pro who has a fake hand that an alligator ate. And he ends up on the pro tour, his weakness being that he can't putt to save his life. He, of course, meets a girl, the PR manager Virginia, while also making an enemy in Shooter McGavin. McGavin buys Grandma's house and offers it to Happy to get him off the tour, but Happy challenges him at the championship for the house instead. Chubbs passes in an unfortunate but funny accident after finally teaching Happy how to putt. The match has some hysterical moments, including McGavin being forced to hit a ball off of Frankenstein's fat foot. We get our happy ending in Happy Gilmore, while Shooter McGavin tries to steal Happy's gold jacket for winning the tour, which is an important bit for Happy Gilmore 2 that came out on Netflix last year. Happy Gilmore 2 is also a great movie, although not on this mountain. Another sports movie does land on here, though, and it's the Water Boy. Sandler's character, Bobby Boucher, is a simpleton who just wants to give out water to football players. He gets fired from his job as a water boy and gets a new one, although he isn't being paid, at a crappy football school. As he's used to, the players pick on him, but unlike his last position, Coach Klein tells him to defend himself. And Bobby listens. He gets enraged and goes after the quarterback, at which point we discover Bobby is quite the linebacker. He enrolls in school unbeknownst to his overbearing mother and dominates college football. No Adam Sandler film would be complete without a silly love story. Vicky Valancourt is the lucky lady in this one. She showed Bobby her boobies and he likes them too. Back on the field, he is a sack machine who basically leads his team single-handedly to the fictional Bourbon Bowl. His mom fakes a coma when she finds out Billy is in school, which is the devil, and playing foosball, which is also the devil. Because everything is the devil to you, mama! Bobby sets all sorts of records, injures countless QBs, and just overall kicks a lot of booty. Bobby helps Coach Klein overcome some demons as well. Bobby really couldn't be stopped on the field. He's one of the best fictional athletes of all time. It's a lot of fun watching things happen on the gridiron that you know would never happen in real life, laughing all the way. I do think Bobby's mother, Kathy Bates, steals every scene she's in with her devil talk, and when she tackles her ex-husband when he tries to show up at the end of the film and make financial gains from Bobby's athletic prowess. And we'll go back to a non-sports film to complete this mountain. Big Daddy. This and The Waterboy aren't great-looking heads, but as I've said in the past, you take a risk when you use AI, and I am aware of this. Sonny Koufax is a smart but extremely unmotivated New Yorker. He went to law school but didn't take his bar exam because his foot got run over by a cab and he got monetary compensation from the accident. His money was doing so well in the stock market, so he decided it would be easier to goof around most of the time and work 1 day a week at a toll booth. This is a point of contention throughout the film, with various people telling him to get a real job. His girlfriend breaks up with him early in the movie with the toll booth job as one of her breaking points. His roommate Kevin goes to China, and while Kevin is at the airport, a kid shows up at the doorstep with a note saying he is Kevin's biological son. A somewhat subtle but hilarious line, if you're sadistic like me, is when Sonny calls Kevin to let him know about the kid. Kevin asks, "Is there really a kid there, or is this like the time you told me my parents were dead?" We learn the boy is from Toronto. His name is Julian. Sonny ends up deciding to tell social services that he is Kevin Garrity to take custody of Julian, whom he grows fond of. He believes it's a step that will get his girlfriend Vanessa back. This fails because she's banging the Petbridge farm guy. Sonny, while he cares deeply for Julian, is not cut out to be a father at this point. He teaches Julian to be a free spirit, and Julian obliges, but quickly becomes difficult to deal with. Sonny dresses as Scuba Steve to get Julian, or Frankenstein, as he decides he wants to be called, to change back to the sweet boy he was. As per usual, Sonny meets a girl, Layla, who is Kevin's fiance's sister. Corinne, Kevin's fiance, and Sonny despise each other, and this provides humor, especially when Corinne witnesses the first kiss between Sonny and Layla. Sonny is constantly on Corinne about having worked at Hooters. Social services discovers Sonny lied and confronts him about his true identity. There's a trial for custody of Julian. Kevin gets him and doesn't press charges on Sonny. They even manage to make the court scene hilarious, but it's also emotional and advances the story at the same time. An overall well done comedy. Not quite the stupid humor we get in some other Sandler flicks. This one is a little bit more highbrow, and that's not to knock the other movies. I like a variety. Big Daddy is just closer to being realistic humor than, say, Billy Madison. Two honorable mentions, which co-star Drew Barrymore, The Wedding Singer and 50 First Dates. I do wish I could put one of these up there because Sandler and Barrymore have incredible on-screen chemistry, but the four aforementioned films just showcase Sandler's comedy chops a little bit better to me. Two other honorable mentions, Little Nicky and Mr. Deeds. I know Little Nicky wasn't very popular. It's kind of that infantile humor like Billy Madison, but a tad less memorable. I don't care. I like it. Mr. Deeds, Sandler plays a little different type of character from what he normally did at this point in his career. I feel like his basic plot in it was be a loser, get something going in life, meet a girl, get it together. Deeds really already had it together. He owned a business, he was a volunteer firefighter, and beloved in his town, just couldn't crack Hallmark. I'm not going to give any more of a recap, though, because Mr. Deeds didn't quite make the cut. Good movie, but not quite one of my top four favorites. Another honorable mention, the star-studded Grown Ups. So that wraps up this episode of Carved in Stone. To recap my Mount Rushmore of Adam Sandler movies: Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy, and Big Daddy. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're so inclined, let me know your Adam Sandler movie Mount Rushmore. I will see you next time. Go Birds!